of the tape here. Jantuah's got the height advantage. Obviously the much better record at 22-1. The weight's identical. Slight reach advantage for Jantuah. We'll see if he can get that jab started. Rodrigues, the older of the two by 5 years. And awaiting the entrance now of both Jantuah and Rodrigues. And Smitty, it was interesting. You know, I'm always worried, and I can't tell you, and I'm sure you've experienced it too. This last second replacement, it's like at one point we had a jinx going on, explosion of last second replacements pulling upsets.
And yet it's a situation too. Remember, Jantuah hasn't fought in 15 months. So and he's certainly not prepared for this gentleman because Snoopy's a last second replacement, and Snoopy's been fighting a lot.
And you can tell as we see him walking up the steps here right now, Jose Luis Rodrigues is cut. He's in shape. You don't see any fat rolling off him, although that his cup supporter's up rather high, and we'll see what kind of comments we get.
He's got the Lennox Lewis look going on, doesn't he?
And now making his way up here right in front of us is being led by Jeff Mayweather and by Rafael Garcia. It's Kofi Jantuah, somebody that probably should have had a world title fight by now with some of the big wins we talked about earlier. Daniel Santos, who has the WBO title right now, he's beaten him. Santiago Samaniego, who had a portion of the WBA belt. And just a matter of time, but we'll see how he performs. He's got Jose Luis Rodrigues to get by. Up for our official introductions, the Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cedric Kushner Promotions in association with the Reno Hilton presents this Everlast Boxing Explosion event scheduled for 8 rounds in the super welterweight class. Your referee for this event is Tony Weeks. Introducing now the principals first in the red corner. To my left, wearing the all-white trunks and weighing in at 155 pounds, he has a professional record that reads 7 victories, 7 defeats, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. He boxes now out of Las Vegas. Here is Jose Luis Snoopy Rodrigues. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with the white trim and also weighing in at 155 pounds. His professional record, 22 victories, 1 defeat. He has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from the Republic of Ghana, but now makes his home in Las Vegas. Here is Kofi Jantuah. 8 rounds, super welterweights.
Okay, gentlemen, you already received your instructions. I'll receive your instructions. Okay, right here is good. Anything that's going to be low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. Right here is good. Anything that's going to be low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. Keep everything above the waist. Tell us en todo para arriba. I want a good, clean fight. Yo quiero una pelea limpia. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Escúchame, cuídate, listo, ready? Yeah, let's go. Vámonos.
The corner of Jantuah should complain about Rodrigues' protective cover. It's too high. He doesn't have much torso to begin with, and that is an advantage for him, and they didn't take advantage of the complaining about it.
And Jantuah is a pretty good body puncher, and that's going to take away, as you mentioned, I guess he can sit there and bang away at the cup. See if rust starts to come off of Jantuah. Jantuah looks a little dry, too.
He does, and one of the things that Snoopy should do is jump right on him. You mentioned he hasn't fought in 15 months. The man from Ghana.
By comparison, this is the 3rd start of 2003 for Jose Luis Rodrigues. His last fight coming on May 3rd down in Brazil. He lost a 6-round decision. Also lost a 6-round decision back in March to Oscar Diaz. Has gone the distance, and this is important to point out in this fight in particular, has gone the distance with Fitz Vanderpool, who at the moment is ranked #1 in the world at 154 in the WBC.
Yeah, I worked that fight, and he was quite impressive, had some good moments during that.
Straight right hand deposits Rodrigues on the floor, and welcome back to the ring, Kofi Jantuah.
7, 8,
9.
Out of no place,
10.
very quietly. Now this fight's over. And Kofi Jantuah is shaking his head. I think he wanted more work, Smitty.
Yeah, he did. 15 months and a couple of minutes.
Well,
You know, he set that right hand up. I was watching him look to the body and try to set up the right hand. He was trying to get Rodrigues to concentrate on the body, and he slipped that right hand over.
See cards, Dalby?
and that's pretty good. I mean, if we had to use this as a measuring stick based on who, the fact that Rodrigues is gone, as we mentioned, the distance with Fitz Vanderpool,
All right, 1-on-1.
doesn't seem like the layoff has bothered Kofi Jantuah.
Now, sometimes layoffs, can do a fighter good in terms of not taking punishment. I mean, he has a tremendous record, 22-1, and he's a guy who's been around for 10 years, and he's in the top 10 of 2 of the sanctioning bodies. So he is a guy that certainly should be in line for one of those titles.
And we'll give you some of the fun facts we were going to give you at the fight going on a little bit, and that is that the last fight of Jantuah was against Bobby Heath back in February of 2002. He stopped Heath in 8 rounds. I say he's got deceptive punching power. He's got now 13 knockouts in his 23 wins. But as you saw there, put away a man that had gone the distance with Fitz Vanderpool. He's got a great win. He stopped Daniel Santos in 5 rounds, and Santos once again the reigning WBO champion. And we take a look here, Smitty.
Just wow. And there wasn't much behind that shot.
Very fast, though. Good hand speed.
And those are the kind, if you don't see them coming, that really get to you. See there, right on the chin. But it had enough power to knock Snoopy not only down, but over, and he just could not recover. And again, he is a formidable guy. I know he's not a quitter.
Well, Kofi Jantuah can now say that he fought 1 round in the last 15 months.
He's ranked number 7 by the IBF as a junior middleweight, number 9 by the WBA.
But the 54-pound weight class right now, with De La Hoya jamming up a lot of the titles, they've actually made junior versions underneath. That's the one that Santiago Samaniego had. And I believe there might even be a junior version with Javier Castillejo having one of them as well underneath De La Hoya, sort of making Oscar super champion. And people are looking, it's going to be tough to get into the Oscar De La Hoya sweepstakes, and one has to wonder how long he's going to even be around at this point.
Well, Santiago, he's ranked number 10 by Ring Magazine. He's already beaten him, Jantuah has, and there's other guys in there like Bronco McCart. You mentioned Santos, he's up there. So I think he fits right into the mix at least in the top 10.
How would he fare with Winky Wright?
God, how does anybody fare with Winky Wright? That would be tough just because of Winky's style, but I think he'd be very competitive.
And at this point, do you see any, we saw all of, what I think was about 90 seconds there. Do you see any Azuma Nelson comparisons, both being from Ghana and the fact that he mentioned that he had trained a little with him?
One thing, great conditioning. Here's a guy who's been off for that amount of time, and look at his body. Azuma Nelson, the professor, was always in great conditioning, and you can see that Kofi is as well.
Well, there he is. Kofi barely breaking a sweat. We said he was dry when he came in. He really doesn't even need to take a shower. He can just get dressed, go outside, and maybe play a little blackjack here in the Reno Hilton.
The ring walk a little bit longer than the actual fight.
Well, we're going to find out how long the actual fight was because Mark Bureau's got the official time for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute, 1 second of the first round. The winner by knockout, Kofi Jantuah.
Well, Kofi Jantuah improving to 23-1. That's his 13th win by knockout. And Jose Luis Rodriguez will drop down to 7-8. When we